I would say I am kind, I'm very caring, and I'm very reserved.
If I could describe myself in my own words, I would say that I am strong, resilient, and I don't like to settle for less.
I'm passionate, loving, and observant.
I would actually consider myself to be beautifully and wonderfully made.
I'm smart, caring, thoughtful, and pretty much love everyone that's around me.
I'm kind, I'm very caring, and I'm very reserved.
I am strong, powerful, confident, and beautiful.
I am a woman of faith, a woman of purpose, and a woman of vision.
I describe myself as a curious person.
That I am fierce, powerful, loyal, and trustworthy.
I am a ball of fire. Being a Black woman means that I understand and I honor the long lineage of intelligent, independent women that I come from.
Being strong, having a lot of responsibility, especially as the first daughter. Hardworking, having to be a hard worker, and culture, and a lot of history.
That I can be whatever I want, and I can be an actress, a model, I can be a doctor if I want. I can be anything that I set my heart on and put my mind to.
And to me, it means strength based off my background. My mom has been someone that I really look up to. She's a very strong woman, opinionated, and she isn't afraid to be herself.
I would say being a Black woman doesn't mean anything too differently than being a woman to me. So I would say being a woman just means being empathetic.
Being a Black woman for me means a lot. First of all, it means to embrace our story, embrace our culture, and mostly embrace our identity. It's like owning my identity, my culture, and know where I came from, and have this freedom to be who I am supposed to be as a Black woman.
I'm part of a legacy of women that came before me, my grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, and what they've done. In the past, my grandparents probably had to be housewives. But the women of today in this generation, we have jobs, we have careers, we don't have to be house stay moms or wives. We can work and we can just find our own passions. We don't have to actually be moms to be called a woman.
I feel the most like myself in the presence of my friends, my family, being in total comfort, as opposed to being in public or being around strangers. There's that feeling of not being 100% yourself, and the ability to be undone around the people you love is something unique.
I feel the most like myself when I can be me, essentially. And I find that I can be me around people who either look like me or who can understand what it means to be me.
I think people misunderstand the fact that I look like I have everything figured out when I don't always. Sometimes I'm shaking in the background when I'm doing public speaking. And when I'm doing all these things, people say to me, they think that I look so put together and I look like I'm not nervous at all, which isn't true.
Being a Black woman, there's a lot of stereotypes that are, asserted onto us. People actually expect me to be extroverted. And when they realize I'm not as extroverted, they will take that as me, having an attitude. I have to navigate not just what I'm saying, but how I can be perceived as a Black woman.
People might think I'm timid and I can't speak up for myself. And sometimes I just Sometimes I feel like I'm slow to speak and just more observant. And in terms of kindness, I would say sometimes I give a lot, but sometimes I know when someone is taking advantage of that kindness.
I'm quite a sensitive person, and it took me a while to kind of realize that. But I don't think maybe that would be the first thing that people would think or say about me. A lot of times, people would say it's not that deep or let go. But for me, it is very deep. I feel like I feel everything. Because you're a sensitive person, and I'm gonna bring being a Black woman into that as well. Because you're misunderstood, sometimes your feelings are miscategorized. So whereas you could be upset, whereas anyone would have the right to be upset in any situation, in a situation, your feeling of being upset is often put in a bracket of being angry, where you're not angry, you're just trying to express that you're upset.
Honestly, being an academic weapon makes me feel powerful. Knowing I hold a degree or knowing I'm educated makes me feel very powerful.
What makes me feel powerful is that when I'm working, because I like making my own money, I like having my own money, not having to rely on anybody.
If I had to think to one moment that shaped the young Black woman that I am today, I would say the loss of my dad back to 2019. That's the really time where I learned to embrace challenges. And sometimes we have a picture of Black women being strong, being resilient. And I would like to say that it's not every time that as a Black woman we have to see ourselves strong and stand. Sometimes there's space for us to be vulnerable. Sometimes there's place for us to cry and just not be okay. And it is okay. We are allowed to cry. We are allowed to sometimes be down. But one thing that I would say is that don't stay down. You have to get up, because you have to impact the world with your story. You have to impact the world with your voice.
I advocate for always asking for help, even if it's not someone in your surrounding or someone even if it's external help that will help you during the long run. Always ask for help, because you can't really do everything on your own to be successful. You need other people's help.
So I had an experience in secondary school where I was told I wasn't enough by a narcissist. I told him I wanted to be a leader of many. I wanted to be powerful, but I wanted to be charitable at the same time. I want to be, a diplomat. I want to be someone who moves people, who integrates culture, who loves other people who may look different than me. And he told me I would never be able to do it, no matter how hard I try. I am where he said I couldn't be.
Say my solo trip, I'd say that would be the main one for me, because that's when I learned about Debbie, myself. That's when I learned about self-love, and I got to see what I'm capable of.
I grew up in Uganda. I grew up in, I would say, a very poor background. And me and my mom would struggle to kind of put food on the table. We would do little jobs, I don't know if you guys know sugar cans and stuff. I would go to school and sell that just for me to be able to get lunch for myself. So growing up, that shaped me in coming into Ireland. I can't be lazy. I have to work. I have to do something. I like nice things, so I need to work and I need to have money to buy those nice things.
If I could speak to my younger self, I would tell her, believe in yourself and don't let anyone make you feel less than.
The thing I would tell her is be patient. Life is not a rush. Everyone is on different lanes, so your time will come.
I would tell her that she's beautiful, that she's very intelligent, and she shouldn't listen to what people have to say about her. To be confident in who she is, because she's an amazing person. You're allowed to speak up in the world. You're allowed to speak up in your home. You're allowed to put your foot in the door and be like, this is where I want to be.
There's not one way to be a Black girl. You can be pretty much any kind of girl you want, and it doesn't have to be one specific way.
There's a song lyric that says, don't let those other boys fool you. You've got to love your Afro hairdo. And that's very important, not just in the context of hair, but in the context of being a Black woman in any room. The long hairdo, I don't. But it's like you have to embrace your Afro. You have to embrace yourself and say that you do belong in every space that you walk into, that you step into.
They're beautiful. They're strong. And they don't need to reduce their size or try to fit into the crowd. Be happy, be confident, be happy in your own skin. Don't let anyone tell you that you're weird or you're doing too much or you're too loud.
I think Black women are just beautiful, period. We come in different shapes, sizes, and we all have different backgrounds.
Sarah's skin, our melanin, how we shine, how golden we are when the sun hits us.
You know, every woman is beautiful, I believe. But seeing your own women embrace their own beauty, embrace their skin color, so beautiful.
I love Black women audacity, I love to see Black women entering to some rooms that they were not expected to be in because we have this audacity, this boldness to create the room that we deserve to have.
In my own words, I am becoming the woman that I've always dreamed of.
In my own words, I'm enough.
Strong, powerful, beautiful, a queen, a king, and I'm resilient.
In my own word, I am truly evolving.
I am a story still unfolding.
I am fierce.
In my own words, I am an enigma.
I am ambitious. I am love. I am
Extraordinary with a bit of spice.